How's it going, Coach? Good. Y'all ready for season start? Yeah. I understand. I understand.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. We're going to get this meeting started. Call everything to order. I'd like to thank all of our visitors here tonight. First thing on the list, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Mr. Manning, and he'd lead us in prayer, and got a prayer list.
Yes, we got a prayer request tonight. We want to remember the Allison Carver family. She had recently passed away. Arnold Rich, that's Debbie's husband. Belinda Angel, Jude McCaleb, Scotty Lewis's mother, Barry Smith's mother, Diana Shoulders, Jared Huff's father, Kim White and Karen Avis's mother, Delaney Tidwell, that's a student at DES. And let's remember our school system. Always keep our school system in our prayers. And any other prayer requests need to be added? If not, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for the blessings that you've given us. Thank you for the opportunity, Lord, to come back, Lord, for the meeting tonight, Lord Heavenly Father. I want to pray for every one of these prayer requests, Lord, that went up here tonight. You know the needs of each and every one of them, Lord Heavenly Father, and the blessing of the families, Lord Heavenly Father, Lord, and comfort them. Be with us all and help us make the right decisions for our school system. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item is consent items. Does anything on the consent items y'all would like to pull? I would like to pull myself of this Smith County High School request on this basketball trip. Anybody want to pull anything else?
All right, if not, Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve consent items A, B, D, E, and F.
Yes, sir. You make that motion to have a second? Joe, okay. Any more discussions on those?
C also has 2 other requests. Apply to it, not just that one.
Okay, let's, we'll just hold all 3, or if you want, if that's all right, everybody, we'll just hold all 3, and then we'll do them all together if it is approved. Or we can go ahead and do those 2, however you want to do it. Okay, we'll just hold all 3 of them then. Okay, no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, I'd like to, the reason to discuss is the Smith County High School trip, the basketball trip. I'd like a little more information on that. I want to make sure all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed, because I don't want another problem like we had last year. So, Mr. Smith, have you got?
Yes, sir. I have asked Coach Farrell and Coach Apples both here. I had teams that went from Lovelady, Texas to California to Las Vegas. I'm not trying to taint what the board wants to do, but I think it's a great experience for young men and women. I can personally vouch for Coach Farrell as far as what a good young man he is, and he's literally had thousands of players and trips with his experience, but I'd rather him tell you because he's the one coaching, not me. And we don't ever want any kind of incident like we've had in the past, and we don't want anything to ever black eye our community. But I do think that we've put in a lot of safeguards that the board has to do as far as forms of proper people. I think we brought a lot of attention to liability for coaches. We're having coaches meetings different now, aren't we, Coach Apple, than we had a few years ago, and it's brought it to our side. But I'm gonna let those two talk at this point, and feel free to ask questions. Coach Farrell or Coach Apple, whichever one wants to go. Oh.
We're going to Salmon High School in Slidell, Louisiana. That's about 35 minutes east of New Orleans. Probably have, I'm guessing, at least 5 or 6 chaperones that are school employees, teachers.
They're employees,
Do what?
that will be employees.
Yes, there will be employees that are already.
About how many girls you plan on will be?
There's 16 players and there's 3 managers. Assuming that none of them have any kind of family thing that they don't get to go, there should be 19 kids. There's 6 school employees, counting Coach Tucker and I. There are, almost every kid has at least one parent going. Now, the parents basically are used basically for transportation. They get them there, once they're there, they're ours. We do our thing as a group. We eat together, we go to whatever events that we end up doing together. We, play games and then go back to the hotel and let them have however much time to get ready. There should be 8, I think, rooms total for the team, coaching staff, and then Mr. Lee Rice is going our trainer. And Coach Tucker and I's room will be on the opposite ends of the hallway, so all the kids' rooms are in between ours. That's the way we've done it in the past, and that way it's easier for us to kind of keep a track of who's where, all that.
That was a concern I had when I coached. We tried to bookend, we tried to get a whole row and then put the coaches on each end and then patrol on different hours of the night. I mean, that's bad to say, but
Yeah, well, the biggest thing, and like last year, we went to Hilton Head last year. We've done the same thing. I was on one and she was on the other, and every hour or two, we would get up and go and just kind of walk by, listen in the room, make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, and all that kind of, we didn't have any kind of issues at all. So we got a pretty good group of kids. I don't expect to have any issues either.
All your paperwork and everything that we have implemented,
the new paperwork.
new paperwork that we've implemented for these, you've got all that in. Okay.
All of the people that are in the group that will be chaperoning also have all completed that.
Will you if it's approved, will you update that with the,
I'll put specific names, I'll have specific names.
even
on
parents
it.
for-
Yeah, I will definitely update specific names. And last year I got Coach Apple, once we had booked our rooms, I told him, these kids are in this room, these kids are in this room, this is where the coach's room is, this is what time we're leaving Smith County, this is what time we expect to be there. On this day, we play at 11. I think I sent him an update every day, if I'm not mistaken, on what time we play, what events we were planning on going to while we were there, that kind of thing, just so that they're all in the loop, so they get a phone call, they know where we're at. Pretty specific.
Yes, sir.
I require the president to give me a daily agenda. Room numbers and all that, where they're assigned, the daily agenda will be given to me. I will know, I won't be on the trip with them, but wherever I am in the world, I will be able to look at the agenda and I should know exactly where they are at all times.
Okay.
We simply request permission to let the girls go on this trip because we think it's a good experience for that age year. Thank you.
Any other questions?
who's Jamie Winkler's go?
Oh, Mr. Winkler,
All the parents and chaperones stay at the same hotel.
is that correct?
They what, Jamie?
All of them in the same
parents and
hotel?
chaperones are in the same hotel.
Yeah. He was trying, when I talked to him earlier, after Mr. Shoulders asked me to get some information, you said you thought you were pretty much gonna have at least one parent or representative per child, or young lady, right?
Do you have something, Mr. Glover?
No, I'd just like to make a motion to approve.
Make a motion. Got a second? Any more discussion?
I
All
just,
in favor?
I wish these ladies good luck.
All in favor? Opposed? All right. Thank y'all. Okay, you had a chance to look at your superintendent's actions? Any questions, discussions? If not, we're going to new business. Item A is a 3.218 service animals and district facilities. Have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Jones, any discussion? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ms. Winker, are you prepared to give a little bit about, we've had some questions, I think Mr. Applewood, I shouldn't have blindsided you with that. I think you pretty adept when I talked to you that he's got a situation and we want to kind of clarify here.
We have had these issues to arise, usually in the form of people trying to intertwine events or certain extracurricular events with the service animal. The American Disabilities Act does provide for this policy that you've got before you is a model PSBA policy, so it's hard for me to say that you can adopt that. You're very limited, however, in the fact that there's just a couple of questions that you can ask. You can't really require documentation related to a service animal. And it's really important to remember, a service animal is drastically different from an emotional support animal. That's not what this is. This is limited to dogs, and I think the ADA actually says it is limited to dogs, and there are some fairly stringent restrictions on those. But this policy comes from the model policy, and frankly, we'll just have to take each issue as it comes, but I'll have to recommend that you adopt the policy, because I assure you, we're gonna get it.
And
It'll be a whole lot easier for your principals to be able to navigate this with a policy.
on these animals, are they required to have the vests on? I know
They're required to have
vest and the leash.
the leash, definitely leash, and identify information, they have to be housebroken, they can't be a disruption, they can't, do those things that we've all had animals not under control do, or we can seek to have them.
So no documents, they don't have to have a document with them. All they got to say is this is,
They've got to identify that it is a service animal, they've got to identify what disability is there to assist.
So this is totally separate than, say, a young man or woman that needs one daily in school, that's a separate, for the same exact thing.
Same exact thing.
That answers your question, too.
What rules are we following? Who's the guideline? ADA?
Well, what if I want to bring a pit bull? I mean, then where's the liability fall for the young man or woman sitting next to it? Can we ask them to be muzzled or claws clipped and?
Is this
Well, service animals, if I've read this up correctly, certain breeds of animals are service animals and certain breeds are not. So it has,
Now, whether that is or isn't, I don't know.
Yeah, but we've had them bring, so it's for emotional sport. I mean,
I don't think that would be a service animal. It has to have a vest stating that it's a service animal and on a leash.
oh,
Okay,
okay, but,
that's what you need to know about.
but you said you, I mean, there's dog,
Squirrel or cat.
do what now?
You can't bring a squirrel or cat or.
But now you said a pony, horse, or,
The ADA identifies them as.
okay, who's responsible? Okay, they, supposedly they bring a pony in. And,
It has to be
somebody walking down the hall and he decides to kick him and breaks a child's leg. Who's responsible?
That's what I was kind of saying with the pit bull.
Right, I would contend that the owner of the animal,
But if we can't ask for any paperwork,
Yeah.
but if they've answered those questions,
So we're not liable if that happened then.
position will be your mind. Sir, if you've asked those questions, if they've answered them, we've got documentation that we
there a reason that we can't ask for proof that it's a service animal, other than their guidelines?
We've dealt with this in law enforcement. You can't ask them for their papers, but they have to comply with if they do not comply with our policies, then we can ask them to leave.
So to protect,
Federal law says it's you cannot ask for documentation,
now,
which I do not agree with.
to protect our principals or whoever's doing this, don't we need to have a checklist for Mr. Apple to go down and ask these people these things? And if they've all been checklist, have them sign the piece of paper? Would that be anything wrong with that?
Wouldn't be anything wrong with
And that'd be documented. I'm looking at legalities, because you're opening up.
It scares me. It scares me.
I mean, you talking about dogs or a pony, I mean, anything could happen when they get them, anything could happen, and I'm just real cautious about this. I would like for each principal, whoever's gonna be the person taking care of
We
this.
could, I mean, really, every principal should have.
Your policy has what they have to ask.
Right.
You could do a procedure and include that checklist.
Have a checklist and then have whoever's responsible, not the child now. I'm talking about the adult that's responsible for this child with this service animal, have them sign off on it. And they know that if that animal gets out of hand and causes harm to another child, that they are to be the one they're looking at, not us. So,
Now,
Mr. Winkler, could you help us develop a form and then I will distribute it to the principals?
now,
and
my
the reason
question,
I'm saying that, they can't come back and say, well, Mr. Appleton asked us that.
my,
If it's on that list and he's asked them, they've signed it, yes, he's asked them, you know.
my question is if the parent refuses to sign, but
Well,
still claims, can we tell them no?
Before we come to it, I'd say,
we could stop them from entering.
yes, sir. And Lord, please understand that, if it was up to me, I'd rather not do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because the easy thing is to not do it, but you're gonna get confronted with this issue, and I have to think you gotta comply with it.
I'm just looking at the liability on the school system.
Yes, sir. I always have.
This, with so
Yes,
many
sir.
questions, to be able to table this until a policy is created that we all feel comfortable with. Myself or Mr. Glover has to make a motion for that to happen, or does it?
He would have to
Amend,
withdraw his motion, you have to withdraw your second.
I think that right now it's wide open. It's nothing, there's no guidelines for it.
Mr. Jones, you gonna,
Well, the policy is there, it's gonna be what it is, so, but we can still have a best practice guideline that we could add to it, am I not correct? So the paperwork, it wouldn't have to be added to this, am I not correct?
Yeah, the policy came from TSBA.
Yeah,
That's their foreign policy. Doesn't make it absolutely right.
but Mr. Jones is saying, we'd like to have this paperwork, have them signed, have all this, all of, the checklist, all that, just not implement it tonight and say start tomorrow. Is that what you're,
I'd just like to, I'm with you. I don't agree with this situation. But, yes.
so are you gonna withdraw your motion?
I think Randy would have to do it, since he made the motion.
But
Get the procedures together to attach to the policy. Or we'd like to see.
but not make it active.
we'd
I
have,
don't want it active until we get these procedures.
if we withdraw it, we wouldn't be able to vote on it, it wouldn't be active till we vote on it next month, correct? So it'd be a whole nother month before we done that.
And you could have everything ready to go by then. Okay. All right.
I'll withdraw my motion.
I withdraw my second to be tabled.
So,
I make a motion to table this till next month with implement of the paperwork.
Okay. You'll second that. Any more discussion on it? Roll call, Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Manny?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Bid approval for gasoline and diesel. Do I have a motion? Okay, Mr. Jones?
I'll second it.
Mr. Manning. Discussions? Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay. Bid approval for Type C school buses. Have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'm on second for the sake of discussion.
Okay. Now, let's open this up. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Now we'll open up for discussion.
I'm glad you,
Let-
first of all,
I don't
you,
comment, let me start out, I don't, you're just gonna discuss different options, this is not something I don't think
yeah,
pushing one way or the other, I just wanted to let the board know options.
I'd like to understand the difference between the propane and the diesel.
Well, first of all, the diesel, because of the new regulations coming in the next 2 years with the DEF, is gonna be almost non-existent. A lot of our issues right now, and our biggest repair, is all involved around the DEF issue. We're spending $2,000 to $3,000 a bus to repair them every other year to keep them on the road. So that's one of the reasons I'm looking at other options, plus they're pushing the cleaner energy. And the program, I'm not prepared really for electric, I don't think we're there yet, I don't think the backup is there yet, the program is an option. So asked Ms. Paula to come tonight, so she could answer a lot of those questions. And the other thing is, right now, the snub nose type B that you like so well, it's already like 18 months even to get them in. So the 2 buses that we just got in May were 18 months getting here from when we bid them. So if I need new buses to replace the ones that I had already asked you guys to sell because they're older, I need buses that I can get in by the end of the school year like we always do, and that's why I'm going with like C. They can build them and have them in 6 to 8 months. So that's why I'm going with that particular spot. So any other questions, Ms. Paula?
Price of propane versus price of, first of all, the DEF issue, maybe I'm buying it, maybe I'm not. I run DEF. Okay. Propane versus diesel, price of propane per gallon versus diesel per gallon.
Prior to Corporate, well, actually, I brought some stuff, and she had told me that I could hand it out. I can answer some questions, but let me go ahead and give these to you. So propane is, first of all, it's a domestic fuel. We have enough of it for the rest of our lives. We don't have to worry about foreign. So it is absolutely, right now, one of my counties is locking in propane at $1.38 a gallon. And he's got that locked in for the year. I don't know what diesel runs.
We just paid $3.24
Okay, yeah.
roughly.
Miles per gallon?
Yeah, that's my next question.
It is not, but it still averages out to be less. I would like, let me, real quick, I'm sorry, I just knocked over someone's water, I apologize. Here you go. For you. You want one?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Here you go. Okay, so, as far as the life of, when people ask me why I buy propane as opposed to diesel, the number one is cost savings. And it's cost savings over the lifetime of the bus per mile. It's about 26, I'm sure I'm quoting myself right here. I get nervous in front of you. I have it all in here. But it's about 26 cents a mile cheaper than running a diesel. And it's not just about, here it is, yeah, 26 cents. It's on this page of this, but if you'll go to the back of it, the back page really kind of tells the whole story. As far as what diesel versus propane, the diesel versus propane cost analysis is all right. But anyway, so I'm gonna put that down and just talk to you. So miles per gallon, you're not gonna get as many miles per gallon out of a propane bus as you are a diesel but it still averages out to be more, because it's not just about fuel savings with the propane bus. It's service, it's just everything to do with it. A diesel bus with DF on it has 12 different parts that a propane or a gasoline engine do not even have. We do not even have on there. So that right there is a savings. If you ever had to replace it, you have to get it. But, you know, it's half the cost of a diesel. It's just the whole overall picture of every single savings, maintenance, fuel, all of it. And it comes out to a conservative number for the lifetime of a bus, and we run them. Diane, you keep yours 18 years here in Tennessee?
I keep some of them 18 years, we run them all
So-
15, and about half of them go.
So a lot of this analysis is run over 18 years because that's what we run them here in Tennessee normally. And over the lifetime of a propane bus versus a diesel engine bus, it's gonna be about $21,000. It's a very conservative number because the numbers really show it's about $3,300 a year you can save with a propane over a diesel. So it's a little bit more money on the front end, but on the back end, we're really seeing it. There's over 20,000 deployments of the propane engine, our propane engine in the United States. There's so many benefits. It is one of the things you'll never have to do is plug one in the morning. No more engine block heaters. You don't need them. You don't have to worry about idle time. These things heat up. Cold start. I was in a demo in Michigan, and they had a cold. It was negative 34 degrees, and they did a cold start, and every one of these buses started just boom, 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 boom. I know you can't say that it's going to do that because it just doesn't. So we don't have to plug those in. Idle times are down. You don't need to idle these buses. They'll heat up like your pickup truck 5 minutes down the road. There's so many things I love about the propane product. I've been personally selling them now for 13 years, and that county that bought my first one, as of the end of this month, will have 108, and it's their only fuel source that they buy now. So I tried to put this together. I didn't know if you were making decisions tonight. There's a lot of information. I tried to pull just not let it be overwhelming, but get some good information for you also.
Yeah, but how you gonna, where you gonna fuel these at? Are we gonna have a propane tank, or are we gonna have to fuel them somewhere else?
To start out with, one of the Roche company, when we talked I was talking about this last year, and then we kind of let it wayside. So with only having, if we were to buy the 2 buses that we needed propane, we could arrange for them to come and fuel them twice a week for the stuff we need. And if I had one of the buses going on a trip somewhere, I could arrange for them to come. Once we bought a few more, then we would slowly start transitioning to tank there at the garage where we would fuel them just basically like we did the diesel and the gasoline. So we would slowly convert the big diesel tank once all those buses ran through their life into propane. So yes, eventually we would add a tank.
We don't,
Ideally, it would be really good to add one to Gordonsville where we don't have any fuel, and that way those drivers don't have to come all the way over here to fuel their buses now that we have drivers fueling their own.
don't you have to be certified though to fuel those things?
No.
Anybody can.
Anybody can do. I can come, and normally when I put a propane bus in a new county, I do a ride and drive because there's a lot involved. They run, our propane bus has the 7.3-liter Godzilla engine in it, and people like to run them pretty hard, and we don't need to do it. I mean, the power's there, so we like to teach drivers to just drive it like you would your car or your truck. We don't need to for them like you do diesels. They just perform a lot quicker and faster.
What about your mechanics? Can they work on them?
That's what I'm getting at.
They've attended 3 different training sessions the last 3 years on propane. I've been talking with Barry about it for a couple of years, and we were almost gonna make that decision, and then diesel came right back down. So we said, well, let's wait till diesel comes down. Now both gasoline and diesel are up and down, you can never tell. So I think it's getting time to start seriously looking at making that switch. So
Parts availability for them, that's no problem.
And I would like to say that we as a company offer really good training, and Roush Cleantech is who does the propane conversion on the Ford engine for us, and their relationship with Bluebird is really, really strong. And we personally, I usually host a training in the east and one in the west each year. Now, the last 2 years, we've been doing them all of one in the summertime, but we're we're getting so many on the road, I'm probably gonna go back to one in the east and one in the west every year. Which we're, you can kind of go whichever direction you want to go, so.
Which of our surrounding counties use propane?
So closest to us, we have some in Grundy County, several. Clarksville, Montgomery is the ones with the, on the road. Oh, boy, I have so many. We have a whole bunch in the east, but that's not our territory. Morgan County has them. Hancock County has them. Hawkins County has them.
So we don't have anybody that's touching us
Not,
though.
not right here, but, I mean, our shop, I'm 30 minutes, what is it, like 30 minutes to get to our shop. We're right down the road,
Where's your shop located?
Lebanon. Right off of I-40, exit 109.
I have a question. I have a business and I've run about 400, at one time about 500,000 gallons of propane a year. Is this road taxed or is it like, get it agriculture, like, cause it's a whole lot cheaper. It's not dyed either, is it?
I actually know the answer to that.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure.
If we could buy it agriculture, we sure be cheap.
I'm almost certain that's how that's done, because I know it's a, I don't know the answer to that.
You usually can prepay on it and get like,
Yeah, so, but I was gonna share with you this, and it's on one of the pages. Every year since I've been selling propane buses, which was, in 2007, we have had, a tax credit from the federal government. And sometimes it'll go away, but every time they bring it back, they retro, all the way back to when it had stopped, and right now it's in place till the end of 2020.
yeah, my question is, you can't tell the difference if it's agriculture, look at it, it's not dyed like diesel, right?
And liquid propane, so I don't know if anybody's had any, dealings with propane before 2010, but they used to try to do the gas thing, and you had a lot of coal problems, and it was terrible, but this is a liquid propane injection. And we just, I'll be honest, I sell all of them, but this is my.
Years and years ago, they used to run them on, illegally, and they'd put them on trucks and stuff and hide them. And those engines, when you broke them down, they were the cleanest, they just like they come out of, there was no wear and
It is crazy.
there was no oil
Yeah.
deposits, they just looked like new.
Yeah. I one time was there.
And they were doing that on gas, just,
And we did it was right when I first started selling them, we did a tour of one that had 40,000 miles on it. It was almost white blood. And I was like, that's insane, that's cleaner than my.
are you not seeing any more, mechanical issues with the propane versus the diesel or the gas?
Seeing way less
You're seeing less?
Way less, way less. I mean, like I said, they're my favorite, and people ask me why, and it's because they give me less problems.
I don't, I think you told Mr. Glover right in here, what counties are close enough that we
I'm
could,
trying to think, I'm probably.
could you get us a list?
I can give you a list, absolutely, and I can get you several people.
If it's something the board wants to do.
In those counties who have already running them that would be happy to talk to you, because, let's see, I have them in
What
Hickory
would
County,
it-
I have them in Perry County. I don't know why I'm going blank, but.
Yeah, if it's something more down the road, decide to, what would it look, what are we looking at the cost to get set up to have our own?
So, I don't.
Like I had a tank big enough I could take a semi-load, so I got a pretty good brake on it. But I didn't know,
So with two buses, I mean, for up to, I think it's 7 buses, they say a 10,000 gallon tank is enough, or 1,000 gallon tank is enough, not 10,000, I'm sorry. So, once you get several on the road, you'll just have to grow with it, but I've had counties that all they had to do was pour the concrete slab, which cost them $1,500, because a lot of
it didn't really take anything special other than the tank and the nozzle.
the tank and a nozzle. I mean,
So
you
I
can-
thought it took like a station or something.
You have to have a concrete pad.
Yeah.
And it's just a regular thing with, and then all of them come now with the Euro Easy Connect nozzle, so you just hook it on, it clamps on, you fill it up, it unclamps. It also has a safety feature that I.
Mr. Says there any danger, a spark or different than driving or you got
gotta
to
wear
have a
gloves
rig?
because it's so cold, but that's
Yeah,
it.
listen, there is a danger with a spark. I know this personally because we've had an accident where I work. A spark off the vehicle, maybe a flashing light, and it'll ignite and blow up. I'm not an advocate of propane. We had to take all our propanes out of the corporation because of this incident. Now, just because a light was flashing and the spark off the light
And I have
ignited,
heard of those, but the way our tank is designed, Roush, and I've done the tour there, but with Roush, it's not just a bunch of people that were hired to come in and build these, they're all engineers, and it's a fantastic setup. But our propane, it's all designed, like when you turn on the bus, it's got a delay. You just turn the key and wait, because it's gotta bring the fuel out of the tank, because it is designed to take the fuel back to the tank and get it all out of the lines until you start that bus and run it again. And so, for instance, there was a bus exactly on the way to our Missouri location, and it had a brake line issue. So they had stopped in Chattanooga to have the brake fixed. It was a Sunday, there was only one place open. They fix the brakes, they take off, they get down the road, and the brake line caught on fire. There was an explosion, but it was the front tire. It was not anything to do with the bus and, or the fuel itself. Now, it said the next day, the headlines was the propane bus explodes, but that is not what happened. It was just the tire. We have had 0 situations like that. Like I said, we have 20,000 of them on the road, and I can show you the data that shows that we have not had anything. We even had one, a driver was towing his brand new Kia behind a bus, and he didn't do something right with the way he was towing it, and it caught on fire. And when he stopped the bus, the Kia rolled up under it. It actually caught the bus on fire right at the fuel system, but the fuel tank performed the way it was supposed to. All the fuel went back to the tank, it stayed there, there was no explosion, no fire, no nothing. So, and as of, and I don't dispute anything he's saying, I'm just saying of the 20,000 that we have on the road, we've had absolutely no situation with fueling, sparks, any of the things. You don't have to retrofit your bus garage like you would if it were natural gas. You don't have to do any of that. You can pull them right in, and anybody can work on car engine can work on these.
And Diane, I guess this is a question for you, but we tow them now back most of the time we're in the facility, but say we had a bus in Chattanooga, your mechanics could go there and work on the same they could a diesel, or would it be?
It would be basically the same like your mechanic, you would, Lexington, Kentucky.
And we do have quite a few on the road, so like we've had one that coming out of Wheatland County that had an issue, and they were able to stop at Clarksville, and they helped them get off the road and fix it.
How are they power responsive? I know we used to, like I said, they didn't have the power that,
They're very power responsive.
they got more power?
I think so. They're quicker,
They'll
I
get
guess
us
is the way to say it.
Yeah, 'cause
They're like, when you gotta pull out,
Used to that was the drawback to propane. They tell you they were very sluggish. I mean,
they're not sluggish at all. That's what I was saying. I like to come and give ride and drives with these to let drivers know that they don't have to stomp them. Just like you would your truck. Just push the gas pedal and go, because it's going to respond that way. They're very, I think they're safer to pull out.
I mean, they get the same transmissions, rear ends, everything that a diesel does.
No, they actually have the Ford, we have a Ford engine and a Ford transmission in them. And the reason that came about was prior to this generation, this whole generation with the Ford Roush started in 2010-ish. And that was the reason our first generation, which was it wasn't a liquid propane injection. We had somebody doing the transmission, somebody doing the engine. And so everything that went wrong, there was fingers pointed and Bluebird's like, we're not doing that again. So when Ford and Roush paired up because of their relationship, we said, let's do it all. Let's put the
So these are true propane motors where used to they were just conversions of gas.
correct. They
Okay.
are Ford engines with Roush Clean Tech doing the conversion for there's the 7.3-liter Godzilla engine, and it's a Ford engine.
Is it the regular
It's not a
seven?
diesel, it's a gas engine.
It's a
Yeah,
gas
gas.
engine.
It's a gas
It's a
engine.
gas engine that's converted to propane. There's nothing diesel related to it.
Yeah.
oh, I got a question. I want to go back to the beginning of your presentation when I asked you, was it cheaper than diesel? And you said it was like 30-something cents based on these numbers here that's
It's
cheaper.
26.
26.
The average comes in about 26 cents.
Off these numbers in your,
Yeah, and
slide
where
here.
these numbers come from is Roush Clean Tech goes around and they get data and they call it total cost of ownership.
I notice in your calculations here, you're at $4.40 a gallon for diesel fuel, and we're at $3.24 a gallon. So therefore it's
But, I
skewed.
mean, that's what you guys are getting, but I know people who are paying over for. But these are just numbers that Roush put together for us. And I could get you the numbers out of Clarksville. He actually said his were better than this, but this is the presentation that I had my Roush got it put together for me. And sent to me. There's always fluctuation in fuel cost, but not really in propane. It's been very, very, very steady.
Now, these are gas engines, so these buses are not built like a diesel then. Not gonna be as heavy duty.
No, the body of the bus is the exact same bus. The-
Suspension and everything.
Suspension
Everything is the same, 100%.
as a diesel.
On the type C, well, yes, it's the same suspension on the type C buses that we have now that have the diesel engine, but it's not the same suspension as the flat bills, which is a bigger, heavier bus.
Yeah, right, yeah,
We
okay.
don't make the propane engine and the front engine, the engine just is not going to fit in it. We're trying, but it's just not happened yet. And so to that, our front engine bus comes with a 14.6 front axle. These are 12,000 pounds. But these buses run as long as the front engine do.
So these are rear engine, these propane,
These are a conventional.
these are all conventional,
Yeah, like this one right here on the front of this.
okay.
No, she said they did put these engines in a snub nose.
Oh, you do? Put it
No,
down the snub
we
nose?
haven't, we haven't been able to.
You don't-
Oh,
haven't
you
been
don't
able to.
put them in a
That's
snub
We
nose.
don't, they will not fit, we've tried, we've begged, and prior to 2020, supposedly it was this close to going into, testing, and then, of course, 2020 changed everything, and right now I'm having a hard enough time getting the diesel funding. As she said, she just waited for it on us. And I don't have an answer to why, it's kind of silly. But these buses honestly could probably be delivered closer to 6 months than 8, but I always say 6 to 8 months, because that's what the industry is doing. It's very hard.
Let me make a suggestion. How about that we table this?
Well, I'm gonna say that. We're gonna, because I'm gonna kill this tonight.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm the guy that ought to be here killing this propane bus and killing this C-type bus when it's
Let's
only
table it
5.
and let Mr. Smith maybe visit some of these.
Or anybody go, but let me ask this too, you're gonna ask for buses regardless, whether they be.
Yes, I need to.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I'm clear, or if we're just asking for these. I wasn't clear if we're asking for propane buses, or we're just asking,
I had her price I bid all of them from all the vendors, so that the board could say, well, we really don't think we wanna do propane now, so here's our other option. So there is a price in that bid.
how long is the bid? We don't wanna run out of the bid, are we good to next month?
I think right now we're okay for at least 60 days.
Okay.
Minute, we this as a, I second as a sake of discussion.
Yeah, and if you would like, I can happily get together
Well,
some phone numbers for people to call.
I don't-
all the counties.
I don't want to be the one here that's gonna kill this, because I will not tonight vote for this. And I don't wanna be, and there's only 5 of us here, so I don't think it's doing the due diligence of the whole board to look into this, because it would actually kill tonight if we voted. And I don't want to do that.
She just asked me to come and answer some questions. That's
so-
what I tried to do.
That's the reason I didn't,
Mr. Jones don't mind.
that's the reason I didn't want the bid to run out if we need to go ahead and order diesel buses, is what I'm trying to say, and then look into it.
So the other.
Would you be good for 30 more days? Well, it ain't gonna be 30, it's just gonna be 3 weeks. Our October board meeting's moved up. Will you be good for 3 weeks? Because I don't wanna do
Because my
this.
other 3 don't actually expire till January, so we're good. We can run them in. They won't be forever, but what really threw us behind is when the last buses were over a year late. Normally, I don't even request bids to January and February so that we can get them in July. But knowing that if we went with the D, it was gonna be longer, I wanted to strike now so that by maybe August, we would have buses back.
And I'll be honest, you're not gonna have anybody.
Not if we go
I-
with the deal.
I ordered 4 in April and several since then, but the 4 in April that I ordered, I just looked today because they called me, obviously not for this school system. And they're due to me 1 year from right now, according to right now paperwork, which is just crazy.
And this is diesel.
That's the diesel product. The propane, gasoline, or type C, I can have is really closer to 6 months. But we say 6 to 8 months just
So,
I'll make a motion to retract my original motion.
okay,
Take my second back.
And I'd like to make a motion to table this until next month.
I like to second.
okay. Everybody understand this? Cut all of this, Tracy. Okay, let's see how we need to do this. You removed yours, so, let's make a motion. I mean, we done made a motion in a second. Let's vote on the first one that you removed, you're removing your, motion and you second.
We actually won't have to vote on it.
No,
We never.
He's withdrew his motion, he withdrew his second, he's made a motion to table it, that's been seconded.
so that's all, we're good.
That's all we gotta vote
We're
on.
good. Okay, all
We
in,
need to vote on that.
okay. Any more discussions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Good. Thank you. Okay. Request permission to purchase 225 Chromebooks and 9 Chromebook carts. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second? Okay, second, Joe. Discussion? If not, this is a roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay. Anybody got any discussions that, you got any? Do you have any executive sessions? Annual policy review for September. I hope you all had a chance to look at all that. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I've got a question on one of those policies, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
On, policy 1.808, the registered sex offenders, does our school system, do we send out a list of the sex offenders to the schools so they know who's coming in the schools if they see them?
We don't have, I guess we'd have access, but we wouldn't.
Everyone should,
Wouldn't be a notification, I guess so, but, now, I'll tell you something we are doing, we're putting, and I hadn't told the board yet, because we ain't got them installed, I think we've got a new deal that you've probably seen them in some of the doctor's offices, I figured both of you guys along for, you know, you film on your driver's license, and tell you anything that you've got an outstanding warrant or sex offender, those will be installed, done got them bought, we're waiting on them. A list per se that the state or the federal government sends us as a sex offender.
okay. That's all I had.
So moved. Aye.
I think we need to get a list of sex offenders.